This is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, September 1st, 2019. Looking at fire potential impacts over the next few days, we will see hot and dry weather continuing across the Great Basin on Sunday and Monday. We're also expecting gusty winds across the orange highlighted areas on Sunday and Monday. Then as we move into Tuesday, we will look at another round of dry lightning pushing up from the south, and we will see wetter storms across the southern areas on Tuesday. Over the past 24 hours, there was no lightning and no precipitation across the area. Fire activity has picked up with the most recent round of lightning, and we continue to see new fires emerge, most likely due to holdovers. It has been very dry across the Great Basin. You can see the past 7 days and past 30 days as far as precipitation and how that compares to normal. And really, other than a few thunderstorms across the area, it's been very, very dry. ERCs are abnormally high due to the hot and dry weather that we've seen, with ERCs above the 80th percentile across much of the area. Continuing to look at ERCs, we are setting records, especially across the southern part of the Great Basin. You can see GB16 is at record levels for ERCs, as well as GB32, really unusually high ERCs for this time of year. And these are significant because these are the areas that will see the next round of lightning possible earlier in the week. Looking at live fuel moisture, things have continued to dry out. We spent much of the fire season above normal as far as fuel moisture, but with the hot and dry weather, you can see we are now down to normal across a lot of areas, and even some areas reporting below normal. So everything is really available to burn at this point with how hot and dry things have been. 10-hour fuel moistures are also really quite low. You can see across the southern part of the Great Basin those 1 to 2% readings, and really unusually low for early September, just due to the lack of precipitation and the really hot weather that we've seen. Satellite this morning shows an area of high pressure across the Four Corners region and a broader area of high pressure across the Great Basin. Looking at today, the upper level pattern on the left, you can see a lot of dry air in place across the Great Basin. And our significant fire potential map is all dry. We're brown across the entire area. Looking at winds and relative humidity for today, you can see some gusty winds are expected across portions of the Great Basin, particularly parts of Idaho and southern Nevada and the Sierra Front. So some wind gusts are expected today, along with really low relative humidities. The map on the right shows just how dry it is expected to be this afternoon, with single-digit relative humidities possible across much of the area. As we move into Monday, we start to see some moisture making its way into the Great Basin from the south. You can see on our significant fire potential map there on the right, we are concerned about the potential for some dry lightning on Monday. We have that highlighted there. There's also, in the forecast, we're expecting some gusty winds across portions of Idaho and western Wyoming. Looking at Monday in more detail, it really stands out on the map on the left how strong those winds are expected to be, especially across western Wyoming, eastern and southeastern Idaho. So some pretty gusty winds expected on Monday. Relative humidities will come up a bit on Monday. You can see generally in the teens across much of the area on Monday with that moisture moving up. And continuing to look at Monday, the image on the right is showing the 24-hour precipitation ending Monday evening. So mainly across the southern part of the area with that increasing moisture is where we will likely see those showers and thunderstorms. And initially, those storms will be dry. As we move into Tuesday, that moisture continues to increase across the area. You can see many of the PSAs have gone from brown to yellow and even green. It's a pretty deep moisture surge pushing in. And so these storms will turn wet pretty quickly by Tuesday. You can see winds will be much lighter on Tuesday. That's the image on the left, and our relative humidities will continue to increase across the area. And the image on the right is showing the 24-hour precipitation forecast on Tuesday, and you can see those showers and thunderstorms are expected to spread north and east and will be impacting the area up into central Nevada and into central and eastern Utah. Over the next 3 days, we will see some precipitation across the Great Basin, generally below a half an inch, but we could see some higher amounts across the higher terrain of central and southern Utah. As we move into Wednesday, that moisture remains in place across the Great Basin. You can see will push its way north into northern Nevada and central Idaho. Then on Thursday, continuing to see that moisture rotate through the area, shifting east. And with that moisture in place, we will see continued higher relative humidities each day. And we are looking at more areas going from brown to yellow on our significant fire potential map. So in the Friday and Saturday time period, you can see some more precipitation is expected. Some areas that haven't seen precipitation for quite a long period of time will finally begin to see that precipitation fall by Friday and Saturday. So looking at Friday here on the map, you can see still at moisture in place across the area. All of the area is either yellow or green on our significant fire potential map. And then finally on Saturday, another surge of moisture, again coming in from the northwest, looking pretty wet if this weather pattern is what ends up happening. So looking at the 7-day total for precipitation, again, quite a bit of moisture is expected over the next 7 days. And this is a pretty significant shift from what we've seen for the past month and a half, going from really wet and dry weather setup into this more wet weather setup. In the 8 to 14-day period, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for continuation of precipitation across pretty much the entire area. So it does look like that shift to a wetter weather pattern will continue through at least the middle of September. And as far as temperatures, really close to normal across almost the entire Great Basin. That's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thank you.